So we have a few binary operation. Don't know why I keep saying binary operation, but we have a few laws of indices questions here. So all of these are past paper questions. Probably some of them a bit way back, but they're good examples to work. So with question number one, we have 6. We have 6, number 1, we have 6 raised to the power of 2/3 multiplied by 6 raised to the power of 2/3 multiplied by 6 raised to the power of 2/3. So you'd apply law number 1 to this one. Law number 1 states that whenever we multiply, the bases are the same, we would add the exponents. So I would write 6 to the 2/3 plus 2/3 plus 2/3. Now, as you can see, all the powers are fractional powers. So, and with the fractional powers, the bases are the same. So we could just go ahead and add the numerators. So it's 6, 2 plus 2 plus 2 gives us 6 to the divided by 3. So it's 6 raised to the power of 6/3. 6/3 can be broken down to 2. So it's equal to 6 squared. And 6 squared is equal to 36. Remember, if they want the answer in exponential form, we would leave it as this, 6 squared. But if they want the exact value, it would be 36. Question number 2. Question number 2. They have 49. They have 49 to the power of a half. Now, 49 to the power of a half. Power half is the same thing as if we were finding the square root of 49. So this is just writing down a number to the power half. It's another way of finding the square root of this number. So the square root of 49 is 7. So just like this, remember it's the same thing. Whether we use the symbol or we use power half, it's still asking for the square root of 49. So it would be 7. So I just write this equal to this to show that this is another way in which they could ask the question. So it's power half means square root. The symbol also means square root. So they would equal to each other because square root of 49 is 7. Question 3. 5 raised to the negative power, which is -2, would be equal to, so remember, any number raised to a negative power is 1 divided by that number raised to the positive power, which would be equal to 1 over 5 squared is 25. That's question number 3. Question number 4. We have 15 raised to the power of 4 divided by 15 raised to the power of 3. Now, remember this was law number 2. Whenever we have the same base, and we're dividing with what to the powers, we subtract. So this would be equal to 15 to the 4 minus 3, which would be equal to 15 to the power of 1. 4 minus 3 is 1. So 15 to the power 1 or just 15. Question 5. We have 6 to the power of 0. We need to evaluate this. Remember, anything to the power of 0 is 1. Anything at all to the power of 0 is 1. Question 6. We have 16 raised to the power of -1/2. So remember, whenever you have a negative exponent or negative power, you're going to write 1 divided by the number, which is 16, raised to a positive power, which is 1/2, which is equal to, remember, power half means square root. So this would be equal to a quarter, because this square root of 16 is 4. So it's 1 over 4, and 1 over 4 is a quarter. Right, so that was question number 6. We're looking at question number 7 next. So question number 7, we have 4 to the power of 3 over 2. So 4 raised to the power of 3 over 2. Now, with this power, 3 over 2 is an improper fraction. So what we could do, we could take the numerator to be a whole number and write it back as a half. What do I mean by that? 3 over 2 is the same thing as 3. So I take the 3 to be a whole number times a fraction, which is a half. This 3 has a denominator of 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. 1 times 2 is 2. So we could rewrite the power in terms of multiplication. So we could have it as 4 to the power half times 3. So we know what power half means. Power half means square root. So the square root of 4 is 2, and 2 cube is equal to 8. 8 would be our answer. We could also work it another way. If we had 4 cube power half outside. Now 4 cubed is equal to 64 to the power half, and the square root, remember power half means square root, the square root of 64 is 8. So the laws of indices are very important, and also you should know your square numbers up, I would say from 1 to about 25, and the cube numbers from 1 to probably about 10 or 11 or thereabout. So move on to the next question. We have question 8. Question 8. So we have 5 over 3 raised to the power of negative 2. Now, as I said before, with the previous questions, once you have a negative power, you would write 1 over the same power raised to a positive power. What do I mean by that? For example, 3 to the negative 2, we rewrite this as 1 divided by 3 raised to the positive power. So it would be equal to 1 over 9, because we know that 3 squared is 9. Now with this particular question, probably you're thinking to yourself, wow, how would I write that one? Now I'm going to show you the working out and then give you a shortcut. So as I said, it would be what? It would be 1 divided by the same number raised to the positive power. Now this, we could write this as 1, this line means divide, by 5 over 3 squared, which is equal to 1 multiplied by, remember, whenever we do fractions, like on question number 1A and the CXC maths paper, whenever we have a division sign, we cannot work with the division sign, so we need to change it to what? Multiplication, and reciprocate this fraction right here. So it would be 3 over 5 all squared. So our final answer would be 1 multiplied by 9 over 25. Now 9 over 25 times 1 is just 9 over 25. So what you could have done right here, you could have flipped the fraction. So what you could have done, you could have just flipped this fraction. So we could write it as 3 over 5 to the positive 2. And when we square this fraction, remember the square, because the bracket covers all of the fraction, we're going to square the 3 and we're going to square the 5. So when you square the 3, we get 3 squared divided by square the 5, we get 5 squared. So basically what I did, I multiply this has a power of 1, this has a power of 1, so I multiply 2 times 1 give me 2, 2 times 1 give me 2, which is equal to 9 over 25. And all of these procedures, they're kind of long. So what I could have done from right here, I could have just squared the numbers. So 3 squared is 9 divided by 5 squared, which is 25. So as I said, you can re-watch the video over and over slowly, whether you want to download it or you want to watch it online. You can watch it slowly, go through the procedures to see what I've done.